bist so into it. Wie sieht denn das aus? Ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, bin ein bisschen aufgeregt. Du stehst auf Football, oder? Was spielst du da so für Techniques? Enrico Martini Show, powered by football. Let's go! Hello, it's Enrico Martini again. Enrico Martini Show, Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's obvious. I have a new guest. I'm really proud. It's one of the newer franchises of the league, and it's a head coach. It's not a somehow player. It's some really important person today. And I want to give the word to Zach Harrods. Hello.
Enrico, good to be with you, man. Good to be with you. It was better the last time I saw you in Klagenfurt live, but you look more comfortable now.
Yeah, it's pretty much 1 month ago, right? 4 or 5 weeks ago.
1 month ago.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. It feels like it's been 4 months or something like that. But
that's one of our topics. Your life completely changed, I guess, since the announcement came up. And let's jump right into it. I have noted a little timeline. Okay, it was the 23rd of September. The announcement came up. I guess you had a lot of work and beforehand to join the league and had to prove everything you're capable of doing this. But then 2 days later, you went on the final game pitch and were presented to the whole ELF world. What feeling was it?
Well, first off, I was exhausted because, as you said, there was months of work, and I think Patrick and Dominique, what's up, Dominique? She's like my best friend now after all the meetings. Patrick's assistant, Zoom ad, but we had like 15 meetings or something like that.
Okay.
And while the Czech season was going on, while we were winning a Czech Bowl, while we were playing in the CELF Cup, it was crazy. So yeah, so I was pretty exhausted going into it, and we had met with Patrick and Jaco on Monday to do the final pitch with two of our investors, and Tuesday morning we got the green light. We rebranded in 3 days. My principal investor got his plane tickets, picked him up at the airport Sunday morning, and drove to Klagenfurt. So it was crazy. It was a crazy experience.
It is crazy. And just 23 posts. That's one of the stat lines. And for now, you don't have stat lines with your team, but your social media account on Instagram is like really. That's probably the way all the fans are following you right now, getting information, how it's going to be, what's the level going to be. That's one of the tools we have right now to follow you on Instagram. And I never presented one of the Enrico Martini social media PR MVPs, but for the month of October, I give it to the Prague Lions. It's 23 posts, quality posts, okay? And I really enjoyed it following you.
I have, hold on, here, look at, I have this. I have, you are a winner trophy.
That's what I sent it to you. That's the Enrico Martini social media.
You are a winner.
Award of the month. The first to Prague Lions. Hey, you got your first title already. No, that's what I wanted to announce. It's really cool to follow you. And I don't know if you accept everybody on your personal account as well, but you have a lot of content with your children. And that's really not only entertaining, that it has a special handwriting. It's really lovely the way you treat them. Even though we just met for a couple of minutes in Klagenfurt, but is that kind of something you also trying to implement to the Prague Lions, or you did already?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, years ago, I do these coaches trips where I take a few of our coaches to the States every year. I haven't done one because of COVID in the last couple of years, but we're doing one this January. And so I take my coaches to the States, and a few years back, well, a lot of years back, we went to Rutgers, and they had family, forget about me, I love you, everywhere. So family, forget about me, I love you. And And that really made a mark on me that even at a high level program like that, they could exist in that sort of way. So that's kind of been something that we kind of borrowed from them years ago. And it's very much part of how I function, how our team functions. And now it's going to be a challenge, obviously, at a higher level, how to continue to maintain that. But I'm really excited, and it's just one of the new challenges too. So yeah, I like having my kids around every minute I can. As far as my wife will let me, or she's the one that has to get them there. I don't really have to worry about getting them there, but no, I love having them around. My players who have kids, I love having their kids around. I think I'm a coach's son, so I all my life, all I know is being around football, and from a young age, I remember going out there, and while my dad was coaching, we'd be stacking the dummies and having fun. And it's so much part of my life that it's just something that I always wanted to be part of my kids' lives. And little did I know that it would happen in the middle of Europe. But it has, and it's a fun thing. So it's one of those things that I even sell to players. I'm like, hey, come here. We want to play football at a high level. Prague is a fun city. Lots of people know that. But also,
you're advertising already.
It's a unique.
Gotta come.
Yeah, man.
What about last night? You had like a Halloween party, obviously, with your kids, and you uploaded this really funny thing on Instagram and special costume. Which costume was it?
It was my wife actually found a Spider-Man costume just for 150 crowns. It was pretty cheap, like €6. Somebody was selling it, gently used, and then the mask my boys had. So
I have some theory about it. It couldn't be a fluke or an accident that you did choose the Spider-Man costume, because I was looking up yesterday. I was Googling something, and I also talked to the producers, and I hope all the viewers going to see it now. I'm also going to read it out to the listeners. What the character of Spider-Man stands for. Okay? It's because it was like really interesting to me. And I will read it out. Peter Parker attains Spider-Man-like qualities such as genius level intellect. Is that something you can? Is that something?
I would say I'm probably smarter than the average person, but genius level intellect. Okay. Enrico, thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
It's going further. Okay, superb scientist and inventor. I guess you're inventing something to make your team great, right?
This is true. And I love on the offensive side of the ball, I love cooking. I say jokingly, I'm cooking up stuff in my lab often, so
yeah, so you're kind of an inventor. And the last thing is really good, like superhuman strength, speed, durability, and agility. Is that something you want to implement into your team as well?
For sure. I mean, we've always played an up-tempo version on offense, and I think with our defensive coordinator over the last few years, Daniel Dish, I mean, we've been super durable, and I'd say pretty agile. So yeah, I think that's something we want. Enrico, look at this, man. I'm impressed. This is good. I wish I had the mask right by me, but I don't have it in arm's reach. So
no problem. But that's something that inspires me. Like I told you, like following you, talking to you, having some calls, and it gives me the feeling you can like really make it comfy for somebody. Imagine if I'm not playing anymore. I retired a couple of years ago before COVID, because I've reached all the titles we had in Europe, and now something great started. Okay. But imagine I'm one of your free agent calls. We have that special date today, 1st of November. How do you
wait? It's a special day today?
You didn't, or you missed it. You spent too much time with your family.
I missed the memo.
Oh no! We will come. We will come to this date and all the rules that changed. We are hoping that you're gonna explain explain it to us later a little bit. But first off, I want to ask you right away, because that's the Enrico Martini style show. Asking you, try to make it that I want to come to Prague and play for you. Give it a pitch. I'm sitting in front of you. Just a little bit.
Just a
tell
little
me
bit.
A little bit. Where do I live? Can I go to the gym and do my bicep curls? What can I do?
Well, first off, I say that Prague is the gem of Europe. If you Google Prague, if you turn on any movie, if you've seen Mission Impossible, Prague is absolutely gorgeous. If somebody would have told me I would live a 15-minute walk from the world's largest landmass castle, I would have been like, what? So like Prague is just in itself is an amazing place. It's super safe. If you get 1,000 euros a month, that 1,000 euros a month here in Prague is like if you were to have 2,000 euros a month in Germany. So every euro goes way further here. We're known for having we have Pilsner. Like Pilsen is a city in Czech. We have a city named Budovice, which in German is Budweiser. So I know Germany likes to say they're the beer country of Europe, but somebody south could give them a run for their money. And on top of it, it's a unique opportunity to make part of history. This is a huge thing for football in the Czech Republic. My goal when I heard that the ELF wanted to come here, I was like, us or no one. And because I wanted to be at the front of pushing football forward, of taking that next step. And anybody that's going to come here, they have the opportunity to live in a safe, beautiful city where money goes further, beer's cheaper than water, and they have an opportunity to make history. And on top of it, you get to do it for a coach and a program that is going to treat you with integrity and dignity and try to uphold our family first sort of background. So it's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win to come to Prague.
Yeah, it sounds really nice to me. I have to tell you this. It wasn't too bad, that pitch. Really kind of feeling a little bit. I'm from the eastern part. I was originally born in the eastern part of Germany, so I know Prague. I know the Czech Republic, and I can confirm everything you said. That's what it stands for. It's really cheap. So all the calculation, how much you earn in your city, you really have to recalculate it. That's probably something you have to explain to some European players.
Oh, for sure.
What about the support within your country? Because it sounds a little tricky, but that's not my intention. Because when I was listening to footballs, get to know the Elf franchise of your favorite, they interviewed the Swiss team. And the guards were really proud that they're kind of sending Switzerland national team to the competition because they have the whole support from within their country. What about, I was playing against the Black Panthers back in the days, and what about the cooperation within the city and the country? Do they support you, or is it a tough that you're kind of somebody trying to do the cool thing at the Elf now?
Enrico, you jumped on one of the I'm on the hot seat right now. Well, I'm trying to think of the best way to answer this. We obviously had a bunch of non-disclosure agreements and NDAs signed with the ELF. So while we were working things out, and we weren't able to communicate everything with the association right away because of that, because we needed to be mindful of that. And if things happen, but once we've met with them, the conversations went really, really well. Which I wouldn't say I was surprised by it, but it was just good. There were good meetings. We've had good meetings. We've had good conversations. We're working through a lot of things there. There's obviously, in a smaller country, there's lots of I'd say the Czech country in itself is a very almost very tribal in a lot of ways. So, you got your tribes and whatnot. And so there's still lots of hard work to be done to, bridge some of those gaps between long rivalries. And that's, I think, our hardest work right now that we're having to do, but it's happening slowly but surely. And we just really try to share the narrative of, yeah, this is still called the Prague Lions. Yeah, we got a new logo, et cetera, et cetera. It's still the Prague Lions, and there's still, these rivalries. But at the end of the day, the reason I really wanted to do this wasn't chiefly for the Prague Lions. It was for Czech football.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I've been very blessed with the different relationships around me, and even the work ethic I have. And the question to us was, who is going to be able to do the work to see that those investors come in and whatnot, and who is going to have the relationships to do that? And if somebody would have said you, Zach, I would have been like, maybe, but a lot of things would have to happen for that to happen. And those things did happen. So one of the things I keep telling guys is we're not doing this chiefly for the Prague Lions, and we need to get past it just being about the Prague Lions. This is for Czech football, because I really think, even though we're not the biggest country by far, by no means in Europe, I think in many ways we're a sleeping giant here with our potential and the potential that we could have on the European scene. If things fall in place, if you get the right coaching, et cetera, et cetera. So we keep talking about that, and at the end of the day, these guys have the opportunity. Like, I really don't like it when people are like, "Oh, are you going to steal players from this team or that team?" I'm like, I'm not stealing anybody. Everybody's invited. They have an open opportunity and an open invitation. It's like, and at the end of the day, they could ask themselves, "Do I want to play for the best league in Europe, not pay team dues, make a little money, get to see Europe, and there's some talent here. I could concretely think about in our team a few guys, and some other teams a few guys that could do something in the NFL Pathways program. That's not going to happen in a Czech League team.
No,
that's nothing against the Czech League. It's not at all. It's just the reality. And I will say this, and if somebody wants to quote me, fine. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think you're going to have as great of a chance in the GFL to do that.
I tell you that's completely the perspective I have. And I'm also texting with a couple of players from Germany, used to play together in the German national team. I also have some former enemies, let's call it enemies, no, opponents in the Prague Black Panthers team. Also was chatting with a couple of players from there. That's absolutely my point of view. Play on the highest stage, that is possible. Play up to your potential. And that's the European League of Football. I would never play in the German Football League and the Austrian Football League if I would have the chance, if I'm good enough to play in one of the European League of Football teams. So I didn't want to put you in a bad position with that question.
No, it's great.
I just wanted to clarify it to everybody. There are a couple of teams in this league. They're trying to stand there as the whole nation, okay? And that's for a couple of countries probably necessary if you respect the development other countries have already in that sports, okay? That's why I want to tell it to everybody. It is the most entertaining thing, and it is the best chance to play on the coolest stage, to play in Innsbruck, to play everywhere, to fly to Barcelona. Isn't it cool? That would have been my dream.
I'm ready, man. I got my shorts packed, ready for that Barcelona trip. So Patrick, throw us in that division. No,
it's gonna be funny. Do you what is your guess? Like, who do you play? Because I had a question from Don Anderson. He's Berlin Thunder fan. He's a big fan of our show. I'm really thankful. hello, Don Anderson. Last time I announced him, his family was standing next to him, and he's always watching. I'm really happy. I had two Berlin players already in the show, and he also likes me a little bit. And he was asking me today, like, what it's going to be like, which team do you going to play? And he was also saying there's a possibility geographically wise you could play against Berlin. When does it come up, like the whole schedule and everything?
Well, these are some of the conversations I haven't been invited to yet.
Oh, wow.
No, I honestly, one of our last calls with Patrick and Dominique was like I joined, and even though my mom's side of the family is completely all German, like my grandmother's maiden name was Bauer, which is my middle name. My grandfather his family immigrated from Germany ages ago, and they were probably Schussler or something like that. It was changed to Schissler. So like I got tons of German blood in me. I can't speak German, but I jumped in this call with them, and they were counting and they were speaking German, and they knew I couldn't speak any German. So they were trying to figure out the divisions. And and they didn't say any team names or anything. So I was like, oh man, I wish my German was better than non-existent. But I don't know. I think geographically, yeah, Berlin makes sense. Leipzig makes sense. The Panthers up in Poland makes sense. I think it'd be fun to have them and two Slavic teams together. I think that would make sense. And Mikael Latosh, the president up there, him and I are friends. We've been friends for years, so that'd be fun. That's one of the things I'm actually looking forward to. Like, I have friends in several teams, and I'm not used to that, you know. So that's one of the things that will be new that I look forward to. So yeah, but as far as divisions, I couldn't tell you. I some people leaked some information to me that they got, and I was like, it pretty much had us in the Central Division, and plus I forget who would be in there probably with us. I think Munich, but I have no idea, because at the end of the day, that seems a little stretch, even having Innsbruck with us, just geographically speaking, when Leipzig is so close to us. So
it's gonna be so interesting, but we will probably invite you again, and hopefully we will have a show soon in person. I don't like that whole podcasting thing. I love you all. Thanks for watching, but to be honest, I want to meet people in person, and that's how I remember I met you the last time in Klagenfurt. And you know what? There's something that is really nice. What Don Anderson also said, he gave some feedback about your way of being, and he said, like, where does he take all the positivity from? And he feels like a really nice person, and that's what I just wanted to give you. That the hardcore fan from Berlin says about the Prague Lions head coach, he is really positive. How does he do it? Like, what is your result?
Well, I mean, one of the things, I mean, I'd say at the end of the day, it's gonna be my faith. Obviously, that's why I'm over here, is because of my faith and whatnot. And it's my life was changed when I was in university, and I started taking my faith seriously. And I think since then, it's really been my driving force to why I do everything. At the end of the day, like, to be honest with you, Enrico, I could think of 3 or 4 big moments that have happened over my 18 years here in Czech where I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with more hate or more shade thrown my way. I'm done. And at the end of the day, I just like, man, I just love this place, and I believe in this place, and I really believe that God wants me here for something special. And I maybe this is that. I hope it's that. I think it's that. But at the end of the day, like, that's what gets me through. And then every day I just wake up and I'm like, what challenge is going to come to me today? And yeah, give me the strength and the grace to face that. And there's been lots of moments here where I could think of a couple moments before my wife and I were together where I was just like, I was done. I was just done. And at the end of the day, I was just like, Zach, you've seen so much happen. You've seen lives changed. don't give up. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. If you want to see people's lives changed, this isn't going to be, a 5-year thing. It's not going to be a 10-year thing. It's going to be a generational thing. Stick it out. And that's been my mindset for a lot of years, like just stick it out and keep grinding. And when that hate comes, which it's been there a lot, or some betrayal comes, tackle it, deal with it, be honest with it. I have some key people in my life that I always vent to and sort of get those things out, and pray it through, and then just keep moving forward. A few years back when I was doing one of those coaches trips, we were at Villanova, just outside of Philly, and they have a saying there, and they have a rock that all the coaches players, when they leave the locker room, they all tap it. And the thing is, tap the rock. And the thought is every tap of that rock just makes that rock a little weaker. And so like my mindset throughout the years has been, I'm just going to freaking keep tapping that rock. And at some point there's going to be a crack. And at some point that crack is going to become a fissure. And at some point that fissure is going to actually become something bigger and fall apart. So
you can't see it, but I got goosebumps. Seriously. That's something a head coach has to have. I had the honor to have.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I had Shuan Fatah as my head coach many years.
Yeah.
And
Shu's a good friend of mine. I love Shu. Yeah.
That's something you kind of represent to me. Like that's really that's really familiar to me, because you're the new team in the league. People are saying, is it the best team of Czech Republic? Can they compete? Will it be the second Istanbul? Or will it be like Serge? Something. Who cares? Every dynasty, everything great was started from zero. That's how it is. And we had like a really successful decade of American football in Innsbruck with Schuhan as our head coach, before they have won the Euro Bowl before, but they never constantly did win the Austrian Football League and stuff like that. And before he came to, that's a funny little story I want to tell you. Before he came to Innsbruck, that must be about 13, 15 years ago, he was sending us into the video meeting a little clip. There wasn't like we're having a Zoom conversation 15 years ago. There was a special videotape message from Shuan Fatah, the future head coach. It was just announced he's going to come to Innsbruck, take over as the head coach. And he was really strong about to send us a little clip. And he was talking about sharpen your blades. Then we're gonna be ninjas, and you don't know what's coming when I'm coming to Innsbruck, and we're gonna have something new coming up. Okay, never seen before. A couple of guys were laughing, and I got to know Schuhan 2 years beforehand in Dresden when he took over as the head coach. And I was believing him already, because he had that fourth quarter last play mentality. I'm still wearing this, even though I'm not playing anymore. Fourth quarter last play mentality. And we did beat Braunschweig in the opening game of his first season with the Dresden Monarchs at their house. And so we all believed in fourth quarter last play. But that's where it starts, at zero, at nothing. The new Czech team, nobody. Let's see how they're going to. But I'm feeling something of the Schuhan greatness in you. And that's what I wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you.
Story. Everything starts at nothing, okay? And
thank you.
A decade later, it can be like really great. Okay.
I appreciate that. I mean, Shu's, like I said, he's a good friend. I've taken my coaches down, and he's always opened his office for us, and he's been a great friend. And obviously, you can't argue with his success. So, thank you for that compliment. Yeah, and I think of course, you can't escape the hate, and the memes and whatnot. But like at the end of the day, it's like people can make judgments, right? But unless you're going to do your homework and actually realize, all right, this is what's happened in the past. We've always done a lot with a little. Like the Prague Lions, we've had success, we've had some downs and some ups and whatnot, but we've always been experts at doing a lot with a little. And I'm really excited to take that same mentality. But now it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about import rules where I could have just an American quarterback. Now, like let's make a splash. Let's figure out what we're gonna do. Let's bring over.
I'm so excited. Which player is gonna play for you next year? Hopefully, a lot of European players are watching this show right now and rewatch it on YouTube and Twitch, and to get that feeling. But that's because that is something that needs to be clicking in the team. Okay, if you got that same mentality and the philosophy is right, and that's what I feel about you. I wouldn't say so if I have some other coach and it didn't feel like it. So I'm just telling you that makes a lot of sense to me. What did the European League of Football post today? 1,200 players since November the 1st. They can decide on themselves from 18 different franchises where to play next year. So
it's exciting.
Hopefully a lot of players are watching this right now and getting a feeling for your plan. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is I think collectively, if you count my personal email, my personal Instagram account, the Lions Instagram account, info@lions.cz. If you count all those, we've gotten 600 players write us already for 10 positions. So write me. Just don't expect a message right away. But I'm this is my mindset. If there's a name out there, right, like a big name, I'm that's willing to play for us, let's talk. But at the end of the day too, I know there's plenty diamonds in the rough out there that nobody's heard about yet. And I hope that a lot of my Czech guys, like I had an interview that was just done via email, like I hope some of my Czech guys that aren't in the Lions yet, that could be in the Lions, I hope that you guys are listening to this and realize you could be one of those homegrown heroes. And that's gonna like play in a league that has a 500 million household reach.
There you go.
That's not happening in any other league in Europe. And
are you set on the running back position already? Because I had Jock Crawford a couple of weeks ago as my guest, and he's still a free agent, and he's looking for a team where he's appreciated. He also want to play on defense. He would also love to just play on defense. That was really revealing in our interview. He said, like, I used to be a great safety. Bring me in. I'm not that old yet. I can play. I'm doing my homework. Every day I go to the gym and I'm fit and I want to play and I want to enrich some team. You have that Adam guy. He's playing for you already, right?
I don't want. Let's not talk about names. Yes, yeah. Adam is playing for us. Adam Zojelka. Okay. What's up, Adam?
Can he carry the bulk of the workload, or do you thinking about some American support?
Adam is a beast. Adam is one of those guys that I was talking about earlier. Like Adam, I've told him flat out, like, Adam, you have it in you to be a Sandro. Like, you have it in you. I'm not gonna BS you. My dad coached football for 40 plus years. I've been around this game my whole life. I'm a pretty good evaluator of talent. You can be the next Sandro from Europe if you want to be, and that's not going to happen, outside of the ELF, right? So Adam has all the potential, and the sky is the limit for Adam. So we also got some other great talent here at running back that I'm pretty excited about. So really my mindset when it comes to free agents, as far as the offensive position, and whether, when you think about the skill position, is I want Swiss Army knives. I want Swiss Army knives, a guy that could do everything, and that I could have out at slot. I could have singled up on the backside. I could put him into motion. I could motion him into the backfield and have some fun with him. You just don't like that.
I got one for you. Former teammate of mine. He still plays in Poland. No, he was reaching out that. No, he was announcing his goodbye to the Panthers from Poland. Darius Robinson. He's like a Swiss Army knife.
He is a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything. Like, do you have how do you not know him? You know, no, yeah, he's, yeah.
he's a good player.
And well, the great thing about him is he's not just a great player. He's a great person. So like him and I, we've been in touch. We've been in touch with through this whole process. Like he knew that I was interested in things with the ELF. He's just always been a good sounding board. I met him on one of my trips through Innsbruck a few years back when he was there, and he's a good dude. I like D-Rob a lot.
D-Rob, I'm so excited where you're gonna play next year. And he, you as a coach, and you see that what kind of big potential he has and what kind of superstar of his league he can be. But at the moment, I guess he wasn't on the big radar of everything, but he will be in probably upcoming season. I'm really excited which team. And we have also had a little conversation lately that we're gonna do something together
nice.
regarding his announcement. We will see, okay, if the new team is all happy about it, which is not decided yet. And it's going to be so interesting. Zach, we have like almost 40 minutes already. I know that you have another business call later at 8 p.m.
Yeah, in a little bit I do have another call with something that could be super big, but we still got a little time. No, we don't have to rush off yet.
No. I just want to let you know, all the viewers and all the listeners, that we will probably come to an end in the next 5-10 minutes. But I'm also really enjoying it, so we can talk for hours. I'm telling you, I can imagine. No, that's what it was like the first time we just talked. It was like a really nice feeling. And that's what's so important. If you share the locker room, if you're in the meeting room, if you have the fuck ups at practice and everything, you need to be on one page. And I'm really excited.
Like, I'm a guy, you know, like a lot of times when people think of coaches that talk about their faith, they think of Tony Dungy or Lovie Smith, who are guys that are, you know, just kind of quiet. They're amazing coaches, but just quiet. I'm not one of those quiet guys. I fight for my guys. And that's at the end of the day, I'm a fighter, and I want to fight for each guy that's going to fight with me. And so I hope that all my guys, whether they've played for me in the past or are coming back to play for us, some of those are happening. But you know, like that the guys at the end of the day, they'll be like, you know what, Coach Zach is always going to have my back no matter what. And that's what I think what guys will feel a little different, you know, like it's going to be a challenge, like maintaining that now with, you know, we got to cut people, we got this going on, like, but I still really want to make sure that that's always a thing, that these guys know that no matter what, whether they're in our team or not in our team, I'm always here for them and I always got their back. So
just came up to my mind, like, do you know how old Josef Fuchser is? He's he's also a former teammate of mine. And how old is he? Do you know that?
Oh, he's still got some playing left in him.
That's so interesting. It's so funny. Everybody,
you know where he started playing.
Yeah, of course.
He started with the Prague Lions. So and Josef and Czech, the short version of Josef is Peppa. So Peppa, hey, I know you hear this somehow, Peppa. Let's finish it where it started, right?
One of the taller persons of the league. He's a great guy. That humor, he would be an absolute enrichment to every team. He is a super guy. I loved him so much in Innsbruck. No, Joseph. What else do I have? Dennis Butz. He got some Czech. No, that's your business, okay? He got some Czech roots. No,
here's an interesting thing about Dennis. He actually started playing football here in the Czech Republic.
Wow.
So for the Prague Lions. So.
But he loves Munich as well, and he became a Raider over the last 5-6 years, I guess. He's a good guy. I also like him a lot.
Dennis is great. Dennis is great. He's a good dude. We've been in touch ever since he was here in the past, so we've stayed in touch over the years. So
he's a great guy. Yeah, it's so interesting what's going to be like. What is you called it out, like 10 spots you want to fulfill. What's the rule in general? We just have copied it. It was announced like there are going to be some rule changes of the roster. Since you are working with it every day, can you explain it, like really simplify it for us fans, media guys in the league? What is the biggest challenge at the moment with the roster spots?
I mean, I'm kind of was late coming to the party. We couldn't even make it down to the GM and coaches deal right before the championship game because everything happened so fast at the end. And I know that a lot of people around the league would prefer to still stay at eight EUs, and it's going to be moved to 6, and then Americans still is 4. So I mean, and we've adjusted the salary caps have been a little adjusted in the way that works. One of the great things is I don't know how it was. I just know how it is now. So like, I don't have to deal with, like some of these teams that have been in 2 years or 1 year, they have to be like, oh, well, I liked it like this. I'm like, this is all I know. And hey, I could have 4 Americans now. Like I can only have 1 a year ago. So, hey, I'm like, I'm a kid at a candy store, 4? Really? 4?
Of course, but you also have to manage that not everybody fits into the team, right? We had some big surprises in our career. We didn't expect that. He's such a great player on paper, but he didn't connect to any other team member. And you know what everybody is like happy about your team so far? The whole community says your logo, your whole branding is awesome. Everybody loves it. You have the shirt. Can I buy it somewhere? Or do you send me one? Or like, how it's going to go?
I'll take care of you. Hit me up your address. I'll take care of you. Especially, you could rock it in Vienna there. Yeah. No, I'm really proud of that. I jokingly say that's the first game of the ELF we're winning is the logo battle. As I just said at the beginning of the call, like one of the things that they asked us was if we were to keep the Prague Lions name, is that we do a little brand refresh for marketing purposes and for etc. And we didn't bat an eyelash at that. And my guy who did the logo that we previously had, he took a stab at it, and some of his stuff inspired a guy that we have here on the ground named David. And I had seen some of David's first passes, and I'm like, it's just too generic. The Czech line is a big thing here. Like it's part of our crest here in the Czech Republic. The tongue, the crown. We really need that present, and this is why we did this. And then he's just a magician. Like he told my GM and my ops guy that he works for in another business. He said, "Let me sell it to Zach." And he opened it, and I was like, dude, you don't need to sell me anything. If you would have shown me this the first pass, I would have been like, dude, we're done, like, let's go with it. And then he showed me we have a crown option, we have a silhouette option, we have a bunch of different options, and the branding is just he knocked it out of the park. So and there's some Easter eggs. I'm not going to tell you what Easter eggs are in the logo, but because my social media people at some point are going to do a little kind of mention a couple of them, but if you look closely, you can find a couple others. So you can check that out, fans.
I will have a closer look at it, especially when a lot of fans are wearing it. Like that's also a question I received from Hamburg. Captain Mocker, also a nice guy, always watching and giving good information. Do I announce it already? No. We have something planned for next week. Let's see how it works out. Captain Mocker was asking about your fans. You have like a stadium with 6,000 people. He wanted me to ask you if you think you can make it full house.
Well, this is how I answer this, and this is coach talk, right? So coach talk never gives you an actual answer, right? But at the end of the day, I'd say that nobody has yet to do the level of marketing for American football that we have the opportunity to do right now. So we have some new people that have added to our social media team and our PR team. They have some great success with doing different crowdfunding, not to get funding, but to increase your local fan base, and some great ideas where we want the Czech football, American football community to be excited about this and part of this. But really, our goal are two parts. Czech fans that have no idea that American football is even going on. In country, and some of them might already be NFL fans because NFL has a pretty good following here, but get them excited, get people that have never been part of this community excited, and expats. Prague is full of expats, and nobody has brought them in yet because there hasn't been good pregame stuff, there hasn't been good events done around it. In the next coming months, I can't say things now, but we already have the preliminary things worked out with people who do festivals here in Czech that have in the last year, their festival had well over a weekend had 20,000 people present. And if we could just get those people that know that brand, that are excited about that, involved, yeah, we could for sure fill that stadium. That's our goal.
Which stadium is it? I'm not all the way
things aren't official yet.
Is it in the middle of the
It's in the middle of the city. Yeah, it's in the middle of everything.
I was playing it on this field already.
You did. We still have yet to sign papers and everything, and we're still working out the details because obviously 6 games over from June to late August is a little different than what we've done in the past. This year we played, counting the Czech Bowl, we played three games there, 4 games. So we played 3 regular season games there this year, in the Czech League and also in the Cephal Cup. So that's our goal, is to make all that work out. We're still working out details, and we still have a couple other good options. But our thought is not have, at least at the beginning, not have a stadium for 20,000 people and have a few thousand, but let's have a smaller, more intimate, where the fans are on top, and try to fill that out. And then once we get that regularly full and have a great atmosphere there, then make a jump to something bigger. So that's really our plans into the future. And all you fans from Germany and Austria, the Austrian fans know this. They've especially down in Vienna, there's a whole crew. They're great. They comment on everything we share, and they're great. But people know, like, you can, a game day here is it's cheap, it's fun. I'm biased, of course, but I think we're ELF's most beautiful city. That's not overwhelming, let's say.
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah.
It's gonna be so interesting. So what's the power party gonna look like? And you have some special collaboration partners you talked about. That's gonna be really funny. But that's how we work in football. If we don't have we have a missing piece, we don't trying to do it by ourselves. No, we trying to implement something that makes us better. And that's such a great strategy. I'm really happy the way you're talking about. We have another question. The producer even posted it to the both of us. There's a question about the helmet design. Can you talk about? There's a red line used to be on it.
I think
It's orange now. Is it red? Is it orange?
It's orange. It's orange. It's orange. Yeah. It's electric orange is the technical color. I think it's this is an interesting thing. I'll tip my hat to Wheaton College. It's in a suburb of, it's a Division III school, always in the top 5. I have one of my players there right now. What's up, Parker? But they came over in the early 90s and they left us pants and helmets. And we changed from blue, red, and white, which are the Czech colors for the flag, to orange and navy because that's Wheaton College's colors. So we are going to keep that tradition because one, there's a lot of red and white and blue already in the league, and there's not orange present. And I don't know if you've all seen that map of what 2023 loading, but I'm just saying that orange pops. That orange pops, right? Right in the middle of everything.
Electric orange.
That's electric good. Orange.
That's a good
electric orange. So the line, we'll see. We're definitely gonna have a different helmet look than we've had with our club team over the last few years. We got some options. I actually have one sitting on my table in the other room. But I'll save that for a big media reveal because one of my guys is like, Coach, other Czech players, they just don't like the orange helmet. I'm like, I could care less. We're not changing it because of that. We're changing it just to freshen up the brand and everything and have some more fun with it. So
no, don't be afraid of orange. They are great football teams that have the main color in orange. So
exactly,
don't care about that. I always liked when I was playing in Germany. Still, I always liked the Kiel Baltic Hurricanes, the green and the orange. And nobody really liked it, but I was loving it. Then Kyle Callahan played against us. The first real dual threat, keeping the ball all the time, was the rushing leader of the season. And later he came to Innsbruck. Now he's an offensive coordinator. We all stay in the family. It's great that we had the chance to get to know you a little bit better. I know for sure when I come to Prague, you come to Vienna, whatever, we're going to meet the next time. It's going to be a really long evening or the whole day. I'm so excited.
It'll be great. I look forward to it.
And I'm telling everybody, like every fan, I just reach out to Zach and said hello. And that's how it developed. And that's how we can all get in touch because we have that one passion in common. We love that American football thing. We once got to know it and we cannot get rid of it anymore. And even though I'm retired now, I'm doing interviews and funny conversations. You did a really good job, Zach. That was really interesting. I want to bring it to an end because your call is coming up in 5 minutes.
You got one last question there, though.
One last question.
That Hendrik shared with us.
You read it out. Don Anderson again.
Don Anderson again. Hello, Don Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Hey, that's a great question, Don. Don asked us to tell us something about the relations of the Detroit Lions. I got something within my arm's reach right here. Check this out. You ready for this?
Sure. Wow.
Autographed this summer after we won the Czech Bowl. My man Stuart, the social media manager. What up, Stuart? Got all the guys to sign.
I didn't know about the relationship. We had a better relationship with the Raiders, with the Oakland Raiders, and later Las Vegas Raiders. We had that. We were one of the few teams of Europe that had a serious relationship to the team with the same name in the National Football League. Tell me about the relationship to the Detroit Lions.
Well, actually, I could thank the Ostrava Steelers on the other side of the country. They in 2019 they had a fan that reached out to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they shared a post on the Steelers shared a post wishing them luck in the Czech Bowl, and I jokingly say, I'm a competitor, man. If somebody does something, I'm gonna compete. So I was like, I use the phrase "hold my beer," right? and I went to work. I was game planning, et cetera, but my wife, she knows I'm crazy. But you know, I was probably laying in bed while she was sleeping, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. And I got connected with Major, who was the Major Taylor. He was the social media guy then, and he's passed the baton to Stuart, and we just stayed in touch with them. I got them some swag, some Prague Lions swag sent their way a couple years ago. I also send every summer, the Lions, we send 2 to 3 players to the States for American football camps to help those kids just see football outside of here. They, my folks that took care of them, took them to the Detroit Lions training camp. They got to meet players, they got pictures. So there's lots of different posts they've done, including the helmet, different players giving us shout outs. And it really just came from persistence, some dumb luck, and a relationship started. And I'm just fostering that, and we're hoping something big happens from it. So we even, Stuart, let's just say the Ford family in general, since the Ford family owns the Lions. If you look closely at our logo, we actually have a tip of the hat to the Detroit Lions. This is the same gray that the Detroit Lions have. So we wanted to make sure that we were giving a little shout out to our big brothers back in Detroit, even with our rebranding. So
awesome.
Yeah.
No, look at the little giant growing in the European League of Football. I'm so excited how it's going to continue. If you can keep up with all your things you said, and I'm feeling it. So I'm not shouldn't sound wrong or something. I'm just so excited how it's going to go. Which teams do you play? How you going to come back and everything. We have to talk again. Zach, I love you so much.
Love you too, Enrico, man.
I wish you all the best for the Prague Lions. We will talk soon again. I will stay in touch and follow you on Instagram. It's so entertaining about the personal life with your family. And of course, the Prague Lions with the new color flash, electric orange. We had the Vegas gold in Dresden. They always have the best names, all these colors. No, it's over, Zach. Do you want to add something? The Enrico Martini Show edition, episode number 4. We had a head coach in the game. Okay, so please support us. Give us a follow. Send us questions, even though the guests are reading it out if I miss it. So it's perfect. I'm having so much fun. But now you need to jump. Who do you gonna talk to? Who is it? I'm so excited.
Hey, if this guy gets in the boat, there's gonna be lots of guys that lots of teams like, oh, we gotta take the Lions serious. So they should take it serious even without this guy. But it's fun stuff. Like, hey, like I said in Klagenfurt, I didn't know that this would become one of our taglines. I was just trying to make it through an interview in front of 15,000 people at halftime. But I really think if we could help Czechs get in the boat, look outside of just our small pond, get in the boat, we get the right Americans involved, the right EUs involved, we can make some noise. And so, like, hashtag make some noise. Come make some noise with us in Czech. Be part of that underdog, chip on our shoulder culture, that we have something to prove, and let's have some fun.
Hey, sounds great. That's it. It's over. Henrik, turn it off. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Enrico.
Du bist so into it. Wie sieht denn das aus? Ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, bin ein bisschen aufgeregt. Hier steht doch Football, oder? Was spielst du da so für Technik? Enrico Martini Show, powered by Football. Let's go!